Bunnycast, episode 35, the Bunnycast of the Beast, recorded on July 16th, 2010.
So, Zeph, I understand they finally caught you.
Yeah, it was a good run. I was over on the side of the street by this fire hydrant, which, yeah, I'm not going to speak about what happened.
So, I heard you injured, 5 of them?
I plead the fifth.
So, yeah, not to brag or anything, but, wow, those dog catchers sure are persistent, though, aren't they?
God, yeah. But then they held up the box of biscuits. It gets me every time.
So you're just a biscuit slut.
A little bit.
Sometimes the dreams come back and seem so real to me. The sky turns so cold and black. I'm scared of what I see, but I'm not afraid anymore. You vanquished my fears. You gave me the reason to laugh and stole all my tears.
Okay, welcome to another episode of the Bunnycast. I am your host today, Sir Xepharon the Prepared. With me today, we have Sir Dame Helennet the LeatherClad, and we have the cute ninja.
Say hello, dear.
Hello, dear.
But
Good enough. All right. Cute ninja, I'm sure a lot of the bunnies actually aren't familiar with you, so go ahead and let's hear a little bit about yourselves.
Well, I am the wife of Helennet. Well, most of you call him Dame Helen. But anyway, I'm an interpreter for the deaf. I'm also a massage therapist. I'm staff for Comic-Con. I'm a wife and mother to our daughter just turned 2, just like a week or 2 ago.
yes, the mini goddess is going through the terrible twos.
Is it going to be something like out of the old show Dinosaurs, where all hell's breaking loose? I mean, the earth is shaking, the kids turn red, got horns, and as soon as turns 3, and as soon as she turns 3, you hear this ding, and everything's all right.
Were you like watching us yesterday?
Maybe. I'm totally not voyeuristic. No, not at all.
Why are you staring at my computer then?
I would do no such thing at all. Hey, look at that text that you have. I mean, whoops.
And that's my computer.
He's reading the stuff I am looking at. Maybe I should scroll faster.
Scroll faster. So, okay. I'm going to go ahead and jump right into forum news. Unfortunately, I really don't have a whole lot. I'm still sitting on the Keen Spot forums. There's not a whole lot new. Same drama, same flavor. Still stale.
You'd think that the newbies would come along and spice it up, but I think they're still being served up to the unholy goddess of whomever.
I found out who, and I'm sure you might have remembered from a podcast or 2 ago, where I made this thing talking about this quote that I'd found, and I found out who said it. In fact, it was actually, I probably won't reveal who said it, but the quote, for anyone who was not paying attention, was something along the lines of, "Do we really want vagabond bunnies huddling around flame wars, eating the offal of slain strips for the newbies?" Something to that degree, and I always paraphrase it really badly. But what about the 910X forums? Anything new going there?
Not really. The fractured nature of the 910 forums makes it damn difficult to find out what's going on in any given place. But, that's something I've been complaining about from the beginning and is unlikely to change. So until we initiate some projects that we'll be talking about later, that's as far as I've got for forum news.
Well, speaking of news, we'll roll right on ahead over towards the comic news. One of the more recent comics, we found out that Susan had a what was it, an angst explosion, if you can even pronounce that word. It wasn't a word before, but Dan made it a word. It is now a word. The Shive be praised.
A word.
But Susan's angst-induced explosion of oh my god over 9,000 has rendered her into a rather pleasant illusion of serenity and calmness and fuzzy creatures.
Illusion and fuzzy creatures, yes, indeed. I should like to point out, as Squato would want us to do so if you were in the recording, that the sketchbook entries are actually really funny.
Oh yeah, you can go to for the people that aren't sure, Sketchbook, which is relating right on par with the comics right now, is www.egscomics.com/sketchbook. Check it out and read them; they're awesome.
So yeah, let's do a little reading. I can't do it. I can't do it right now because I'm not on my computer.
Oh, I can totally ad-lib that then.
Go for it.
The first one from the front page that you'd see it. Well, if you go head back towards July 13th, which is going to be about 3 or 4 back previous buttons by the time this podcast comes out, you'll see this really kick-ass picture of a bunny dragon. It is so cool, cute, and it will eat you. I want one. I want one.
You won't have it for very long if it eats you.
That's beside the point. Continuity be damned. But so moving on, and now the comic. The comic that almost was as performed by hand puppets. So you're going to fulfill the debt? Yep, and I was thinking $5 ought to cover it. $5? What? No good. I risked my life, endured mental anguish, cried in front of people, was humiliated by the truth about the origin of the hammers, and probably some other stuff, and you want to give me $5? Make it 10. Deal. And now you know why a rewrite is necessary. I bet that can't possibly be said in the original script. I'll give you $10 to keep quiet. Deal. Now you know.
And knowing is half the battle.
Play that music. So yeah, the Susan's gone from over 9,000 to just barely over 1,006.
I didn't know you had a say in Scanner.
The more you know.
Knowing is half the battle.
But yeah, so she calms down, goes to this whole thing, and now needs what did she say? Illusory carrots, and I was having trouble with that word earlier. But this immortal Jerry, I think, is rather PO'd.
I am the immortal Bill.
Isn't there a webcomic based off of something like that? The Immortal Bill or something like that? Adventures of Bill? Yeah, there was the adventure. Killerfish did a thing. The Adventures of Bill. That's a very poor impersonation.
And you used Peter Griffin and...
Yes, and Brian.
And Brian for the voices. And it was perfect. It was awesome. It was gorgeous.
I'm actually really, really glad that came out well as it did. But coming up, we got quite a few other things going on right now. Comic Con is coming up.
Comic Con. So this is actually why Cute Ninja is part of. What?
I didn't mean to hit enter there. That was force of habit. I was sending a silent message saying that Squato was coming on, and then I hit enter, and it entered into the Google search saying Squato's coming. Did you mean Squanto is coming in? Although the next search is something about the Bunnycast.
Hey, there we go.
Actually, look at this page. This is awesome. You got a bunch of Squatos and then Squanto.
Okay, hang on. There's going to be an echo as I look over my way.
Hold on. He won't let me have it. Riding over the mouse.
But yeah, Comic Con is coming
Not
up.
through the. Okay, Comic Con, yes. And all right,
Comic Con is coming up, and we have all kinds of awesome things that come with Comic Con. Some things are awesome, some things are cool, some things are fairly annoying. Squato, hi.
I like that. Can we do that again?
Segue?
As Finger says what?
Almost did it. Almost did it. Comic Con is coming up. A lot of cool stuff. A lot of interesting things. Homer, tell us what you can tell us about it this year.
Okay,
And also
well,
make fun of the moves and that type of stuff if possible.
fun of the movies.
The move news and that type of stuff.
The move news. Are we talking about like what? How other cities want Comic Con and stuff like
Oh,
that?
yes,
versus
yes,
everything
yes.
yet?
I was actually about to talk about that. So, we have confirmed. It's been
Sorry to steal your
announced.
thunder.
It's been announced in the news that Comic-Con is going to remain in San Diego until 2012. That we know for sure. Beyond that is still up in the air. And just so that everybody understands, it's not that Comic-Con wants to leave San Diego. Comic-Con very much wants to stay in San Diego. It is quite frankly ideal location-wise, especially for weather, for sort of a central location between our overseas friends and the people in the States. It's that San Diego City doesn't
Plus,
seem
you can
to
go to
want.
Tier 1 if you get bored.
That's true. San Diego City doesn't seem to want Comic-Con. So
I know
all these
nothing
other-
about the incident in Tijuana that happened 2 years ago. Nothing.
all,
Nothing.
all these other cities are
Really?
courting Comic-Con to try and get them over there. Now, here's the thing. Las Vegas, to insert expletive here, hot. The cute
I
ninja
thought you
and I
meant to
just...
say too much curio there.
Too much what?
Curio.
Oh,
Kyrio.
Kyrio. Squato,
Kyrio.
you're a little quiet. Could you turn up your mic's volume or something?
It
There you
must
go.
be the settings.
Say, put
Okay,
your
so-
mouth on the mic like that again. That was awesome.
I did.
You.
I did. Literally did nothing.
So
Talk louder.
the cute ninja, the mini goddess, and I just came from Las Vegas this last weekend, where it was 111 degrees.
Which
Jeez.
equals...
3. 1 plus 1 plus 1.
Celsius, you fool. Celsius.
I don't know. Probably around what's body temperature in Celsius? What's normal body temperature?
I have no idea.
32 degrees.
32 degrees. So you're probably looking at about 35 to 38,
Okay.
maybe, roughly. That's just off the top of my head.
So,
So in any case, it was really bloody hot in Las Vegas. Basically, any opportunity to seek out air conditioning, you take it. Period. I don't care. I don't care if there's like an axe murderer in there and there's blood on the walls.
No.
there's
Go.
Screams
considering
and
the-
tortures. If there's AC, you're going in that room.
That didn't work.
considering the fact it's Vegas, pretty much anywhere where there's AC, it's the poker machines.
Slot machines.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's also applicable.
Although reportedly Reno has more poker machines than Vegas does, which is a bit interesting. It's even worse there. Like you
I'm
go into
sorry,
the bathroom. Do you want toilet paper? Pull this slot now.
Pretty
I'm
much.
sorry, Homer. I'm harassing your wife with the mouse cursor. It's funny now.
He's trying to sex her up.
No,
Excuse me.
I will shoot that down very quick. No. Basically,
No.
because I can do the
45
mouse.
Celsius is
Damn.
what 115 Fahrenheit.
Oh snap! Yeah, basically, I'm playing around with the mouse cursor because I can actually see Homer's desktop, and whenever I move the mouse cursor, whoever's mouse cursor is on the screen moves to my mouse's position. So she's trying to get. So Cute Ninja is trying to click on a link. I just move the mouse 2 pixels over. She starts over. Move the mouse 2 pixels over. She has to go all the way back, all the way back, all the way back, all the way back. And about 10 attempts later, she starts moving the mouse all over the screen in like a billion different directions, like you in frustration, like you're trying to shake it like an Etch-a-Sketch.
I'm not laughing.
It's late. I'm tired.
What room did you want to sleep in tonight?
I'm not laughing.
I was about to actually say, because of what Zeph's doing, isn't it? That just kind of proves the point that fairies ruin everything. Then.
Hey. So okay.
So
Continue.
So Comic-Con also doesn't do Los Angeles because Los Angeles is really freckin' crowded, and I mean crowded. And the traffic is terrible.
Well, like I said before, Comic-Con.
Well, that's what happens when you get rid of your public transport system and just replace it with cars. Obviously, there's going to be a problem with people, using too many cars.
Well, like I
we
said, they're
have
just trying to
public
find
transit, and we have a trolley system as well.
Well, we're talking about
Los
Los Angeles.
Los Angeles is just trying to find an excuse to be crowded, not just for the hell of it.
Let's try to find a way to cram as many people into a single square mile as possible without turning into New York. It's
We're going to be
not crowded enough.
One crowd's attack. 2.
The crowding.
And we don't want to go. And Comic-Con does not want to go up to San Francisco because we've already got a convention in San Francisco. It's called WonderCon. It happens earlier in the year. It's also more. Go on.
Well, I was going to say this is the point we made in the earlier version, which was against Los Angeles, is the fact that the reason why they're trying to make it there is just because it's where the entertainment industry is. Read Hollywood. They're trying to make it more convenient for them, and the other fact is that they argue that because they got things like E3, that's why they should have it.
Because we have more conventions than anyone else, that's why we should have Comic-Con. Now, the thing is...
Their center is bigger.
Well, the thing
but
is...
not cooler.
San Diego has had to grow the convention center pretty much every time Comic-Con has had a surge in growth. The only exception has been the last few years when basically the city just ran out of money because of the recession.
Speaking of Comic-Con, I heard...
They did make an announcement that they're going to expand the convention center.
Well, okay, yes, they've made the announcement that they want to do that. They have not made... Okay, for one, they don't have the funds raised yet. Number 2, it has to be voted on. And if it's voted down, there's no expansion.
Your wants and needs will not be fulfilled unless it is absolutely required.
What?
Now, good day. Good day. You lose.
Yeah, no, I was going to say is the reason why I partly knew that there was some problems with that is because it was from some libertarian link that someone sent me, and it's going on about how big government's trying to destroy the little people, and that's because they've got this guy that's whinging that he's how the evil San Diego City Council is trying to take his land, and his complaint really just comes down to the fact that they didn't offer him X number of times more than what the offer was what he wanted it to be, is X number of times more than what they gave, which is evaluation done by at least 3 different sources as to the true value of the property. And he says that's incorrect. Because he knows, man. He knows. So obviously the libertarians are like, this is big government trying to take the little man down.
Yeah, the libertarians have gotten a little cracked lately, honestly.
Speaking of cracked, I heard a rumor about some one of those cracked whack job Baptist churches that are going to be like supposedly supposed to be coming down to protest.
Yes. Why can't I already have a full leather bodysuit just so I can go up to these people and make fun of them?
I was about to say that if you want to have some fun for anyone, just dress up as the Joker, because they were very happy when Heath Ledger passed away, and God's wrath had come down upon Heath for all this type of crap, and they were going to protest his funeral. The problem was they weren't allowed into Australia.
Oh yeah,
So
I remember a few episodes ago you were talking about that. I didn't quite make the connection that it was Heath Ledger's funeral. I'm just as glad they didn't make it in.
No, there's a couple of times they tried to come to Australia. That was one. The other one was after the big bushfires that killed 130 odd people in Victoria. They wanted to come and protest the funerals for the people there because it was God's wrath against how evil Australia is because we're filled with sodomites that won't allow them into the country in the first place.
Right.
So the Australian government said, "Oh, you were the ones that said you were going to do all this problems and going to cause the problems. In other words, we were going to be wasting resources arresting you." Declined.
Yeah. Okay,
where are those biker guys that go around to protest the protests? We need those guys around.
Yeah,
Those
we
shredder
need
bikers.
those.
Oh, they'll come. They'll be there. Don't worry. If there's the Westbros there, they'll be there.
Because I think they've actually got it like in their in their creed to protest these people, against these protesters.
You know what I think is monumentally funny? This is the God Hates Fags crowd, right?
Yeah.
This weekend is Pride weekend in San Diego.
Nice.
Word of this is already spreading.
Nice.
We're already getting a huge crowd of gay people all gathered together in one place.
Cool.
This should be fun.
I hope this turns out to be like that time when they had the Ku Klux Klan did this march about 2005, and they had a bunch of people all dressed up as clowns, and just basically chanted this. There was a chant war between the Klan and the clowns. The clowns would shout "White Power," and then the clowns would do "Wife Power," and then all of a sudden they'll have their wives come out or things like that. Really do. I hope people search that online. It's hilarious. Apparently, it went for about 20 minutes, and in the end, the Klan just went stuff it and walked off.
Finally, nice. So okay. Yeah. So what else we got?
With programming for Comic-Con, Comic-Con has released the full schedule online. It's actually early this year. Normally they wait until like the day before.
Or the day
no,
after.
they don't.
Preparing?
Excuse me, you just don't pay attention. They actually did announce it would be out by the 11th of July, and usually it's out at least a week or two before the convention.
This is the first year that I've seen them actually get the full schedule out on time.
This is not my first time seeing it out in full.
I ignore your argument and substitute my own reality.
Okay,
I
Adam
paraphrased that
Savage.
badly.
You did.
I don't care. I just rattled it off and figured I already opened my mouth. The show must go on.
Yes. So, anybody who is coming in for Comic-Con, you can plan. And speaking of planning, and let's segue this nicely into BunnyCon. The BunnyCon Wednesday activities are not going to include this year preview night. We are instead going to the San Diego Zoo.
Which is still wicked cool. I've always wanted to go.
Yeah.
I've been to the major zoo.
You can kind of get away with it because AP's not going this year, so.
I've been to the major zoo on the East Coast of the United States, the New York Bronx Zoo. I want to go to the San Diego Zoo now.
Oh, no. The reason why I say that is just because AP is morally opposed in every sense of his fiber, this is what he's actually said, to the idea of zoos, and he will never go to any zoos because it's nothing short of animal cruelty.
I'll have to talk to him about that. I'm kind of curious. Anyway.
He does accept the idea of them, but he just doesn't like them, basically.
Okay, that's understandable, I suppose.
So anyways, with further BunnyCon programming, Tuesday is going to be the day we go to Boomers. The local family fun center was a huge success amongst the bunnies in 2006 when we all went up there. And,
was that with the Watchers as well?
Yes, that was the event where we met up with the Watchers. And so I see no reason not to repeat the experience, because considering we didn't actually meet up with the watchers until like we were almost 1 hour from being done. So yes, it looks to be a fun set of activities this year. And Monday, for any bunnies who are still scrambling to get their plans together to come in for Comic-Con, Monday is going to be dedicated to driving people to and from the airport and other travel facilities. So get a hold of me if you need to. One other thing that we will be doing is this year's BunnyCon is going to be the initiation of Bunnycast Live.
Dun, 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 dun. It was fitting.
Dun, dun, dun.
How did you put a question mark on the end of a piece of music?
Just the same way that William Shatner could do a spoken word version of a rap.
Oh, wait, that's all rap is. Ooh.
It's a Futurama reference, you fool.
I ignore your argument, and you know what I mean.
Motorcycle.
Because shut up.
Throughout the Comic-Con and BunnyCon experience, we will be broadcasting using the Ustream service. I will be using my phone, so there will be a delay, and so live interaction will not be possible, unfortunately. However, should be a lot of fun.
Especially if you can spam having some fun with Josh Whedon.
Yeah, if I encounter celebrities and I recognize them, which is an important factor there, then I will do my best to get them on camera for an interview. Sir MDM may be subbing in as a cameraman occasionally as we go about Comic-Con, doing our thing.
And you said in the original version you'll have the whip to make sure he doesn't try and dry hump any of the people like Josh Whedon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was when I was there the 2 years ago. I still think it was pretty cool when we stayed at the Hard Rock Hotel, which was totally booked out by Sony, wasn't it? Sony.
Pretty much, yeah.
But,
we got in the skin of our teeth.
I was actually in an elevator. It was one of the nights when I was kind of walking around by myself and stuff. I was actually in the elevator with Kevin Smith, but needless to say, I didn't realize it until 5 floors after he got off. The man didn't say a word.
Which fits with his character, if I understand.
Silent Bob, absolutely.
Question is apparently which version of Kevin Smith you saw. Is that the cool Kevin Smith that makes all those awesome films, or is it the one that makes those crappy type of family films like the one he did is it last year or this year?
We're talking about the Jay and Silent Bob based films. But I'm sitting here, and the funny thing is I'm sitting here going, why is my best friend's dad here? That's not him. Who is that? Then he gets off, and I'm still thinking about it, and that's when it clicks. I'm like, oh my god!
Yeah, so lots and lots of celebrities. Jolene?
What?
You've been awfully quiet. I was wondering if you had any input.
You mean about programming?
Yes.
Well, I can tell you offhand that they're having Star Wars Day, and I haven't gotten to it yet, but I'm thinking they're going to have the Fan Film Festival. Let's see, that's usually later on in the day. So I'm not sure if they actually are doing that, but...
Well, for those listeners who are unfamiliar with the Star Wars Fan Film Festival, it is one of those key cornerstone events that if you have the opportunity to go, you must go. Rather akin to visiting the Masquerade for Comic-Con San Diego / International. Let's see, there's also the bunnies this year, if it does not conflict with the Masquerade, are going to go see the worst cartoons ever.
Cartoons ever created. Oh my God, I'm still laughing about that. 2 years later, I am still laughing about that.
That was it. It's indescribable how bad they are.
I'm still remembering the mighty Mr. Titan. Yeah, mighty Mr. Titan.
With the gleam.
That was one shiny bum. Goodness.
Yeah, notice that the two people who didn't attend are like, huh? And the two people who did attend are, we can't stop laughing.
But moving on, before we go completely off on a tangent.
Friday
So-
night from 9 to 10, worst comics ever.
Yes.
Go see it. If you're going to be at Comic-Con, set some time aside and go with
Seriously.
people you know so that you can have inside jokes for years. I still, on occasion, get a chance to chat with Troy. And all I have to do is type makes funny arm movement. And he knows. He knows. Oh, he knows.
You can find that one on YouTube, but yeah.
Oh my God, I've been trying to find that so much. Patty the Pelican, I believe
Yes.
it was.
Yeah.
My favorite is still that dog with the gun in his hat.
Detective Bassett, Hound for Hire.
And there's just some of the absolutely horrendous lines. Oh, it was awful. It was
That joke
just
is
so
that
bad.
cartoon
How
is
about that president one?
The super
Oh,
president. But yeah, so there's needless to say, there's tons of just these terrible cartoons that, for some reason, made it to television and shouldn't have.
Well, they didn't all make it to television. It's just someone actually made it and they commercially released it, and it went nowhere.
Precisely. So, what else we got on the con? Is that it for now?
Well, I just wanted to finish it.
Sorry.
Obviously not. What was that?
Here, I've been gathering all this information, and he says, "Oh, that must be it for con." I'm like, "Yeah, right."
She was shot with a laughing dart.
Well,
Anything else to interject?
Let me
Okay.
finish up on Bunnycast Live.
Okay.
So there's not going to be a set schedule for Bunnycast Live during the Comic-Con. It's just whenever I happen to say, "Oh, this looks interesting. Let's broadcast."
Actually,
And-
it's going to be a case of you'll be doing, "Oh, this looks interesting," and find that your battery is not dead enough that you can do it.
Hopefully that will not be the case.
I
Well,
understand
because
there's also... Go ahead.
I was going to say, the reason why I make that comment is because there was this person I know, they did this whole big thing about how they're going to do this live broadcast, and it was off their phone. They're going to be doing something during the day. They found out that when they went the whole day without realizing they hadn't charged the battery for 2 days after it had died. That
Oh,
beeping sound that they heard the few days beforehand was the battery dying, and they didn't realize that was what it was.
It's like my phone the first time that it started dying. I didn't understand what the heck that noise was. I'm sitting here talking to somebody, and all of a sudden I hear, beep. What the hell?
So,
Turn the
yes,
battery your phone is doing.
I will be broadcasting, and fortunately, there are outlets throughout the building that one can plug one's computer and phone into to charge up as needed.
Or you can jump the queue by getting to where you have to pay someone $20 for half an hour for it.
One question. Is Dan going to be there?
No.
Do we
Not
know?
likely. He hasn't said anything, but likely no.
No!
Well, with
Interesting timing of that
with him
sound.
with him no longer being on Keen Spot and 910 already deciding they're not going to show up, Dan has very little reason to be at Comic-Con at all, which still brings us back to the Get Dan to Comic-Con fund, which still has no money because nobody's given anything.
Yay, people.
Hence,
Hey, I would. You know I would.
Yes, I know.
But when I literally have to sell my body to make ends meet,
Don't go any further with that.
I'm talking about fluid donations.
Don't go any further with that.
Please.
Yeah, that didn't sound right either.
Yeah.
It's like, is there a problem? Oh.
No, see, I don't see exactly what I said. Oh.
And you wonder why I'm so quiet.
Yeah, I figured you were just playing the part of Killerfish. Every now and then going like, "This is Killerfish getting a word in edgewise after 10 minutes of being
Actually,
quiet."
this is like, should I just push stop and go to my room, or should I stay on? So,
No, but
It's the horror. But I can't turn away.
so
It's like a traffic accident. So, anyways.
BunnyCon, definitely
Where were
go. The Bunnycast live.
Actually,
Gonna be cool.
Live.
sorry,
for
you
it.
just did remind me there was this traffic accident that happened near me the other day, and there was this hilarious incident that happened where this car drove down and stopped right next to the accident. They didn't do anything; they just looked, and then they just drove off. Went to the next the next corner, did a U-turn, and drove right back down again to take a look at it again. Then doing another U-turn and going back the original way so they could go on to where they were headed. I'm like, what?
still there?
Yeah, I got to plug my phone back in.
I was wondering what that was.
So okay, BunnyCast, cool new
Yes,
live stream
Bunnycast Live.
thing, and I understand there's going to be a knighting this year.
Yes, there is going to be a knighting. I am not going to reveal who it is just yet, but we have already picked out a name. MDM is going to be doing the knighting in proxy of AP. Yes, it is another Chaos Consortium knighting. Seems to be a lot of those, not enough of any of the other branches. But yes, there will be a knighting.
Is that a subtle hint for Troy?
Or me.
Well, both Troy and Zeph have been knighted.
Oh, you're talking about getting people to be knighted into certain branches.
Yes.
Yes, perhaps some of the bunnies don't exactly know what the branches are.
Okay.
But that's
okay. That's a subject for another
time.
So, getting back to Bunnycast Live, we will be broadcasting the knighting ceremony at the very least. So that's going to be like the one. Yes, we are recording at this time on this day. As soon as we get a set time and day for the knighting.
Yeah. So, all right. Moving on then.
Yes.
Been watching a little.
Okay.
Halting. Coming back. Squato. Go.
Actually, I was going to say that with Homer is, I was saying with the original version of this one, how we found that I was talking about the in Mad Magazine doing it with Comic Con thing. I found them.
Oh God. Oh God.
Okay.
I'm worried.
It's hilarious.
Okay. Well,
I'll send it to you.
Post it online.
Been watching. Yeah.
So Jolene can have the opportunity to say what she needs to say. Jolene, any other words on the
Program.
Thank you.
5 seconds.
Yes.
Go.
No.
For someone who doesn't know another language, you were really searching for that one.
Mythbusters will be there on Saturday evening.
Woo.
Yes.
Oh.
Oh, really?
What are they blowing up this time?
Everything they can.
It's probably talking about their next season.
Well,
going
actually,
they're talking about some of the things that they're working on.
Yeah,
Girls on the
probably-
internet. Fact or myth?
interesting with that. Interesting lead-in with that to the next section. Well, it's probably going to be a bit more than that because apparently Discovery Channel has paid them for about 5 other shows. No one knows what the hell these are, but they've been already paid for 5 other shows.
As in 5 other series?
Yeah.
Interesting.
And it's apparently Mythbuster thing. Who knows whatever that's meant to mean.
Okay. But yeah, so
Yeah, so the Mythbuster series, they're basically meant to be a couple of series. No one knows too much about it, but it's something that they're behind. It's all meant to be sciencey at the very least. Who knows how it's going to work, particularly because people are making fun of the fact that the Discovery Channel is all about anything that has nothing to do with science. Well, by science they mean, here we go, here's something we can do which is sciencey, here's a rock. We're going to blow it up!
Mythbusters.
I would say they were very, very scientific, and I'm sure if we could duplicate it in our own home, we'd probably try. But like they say, don't try this at home. But I went to the Mythbusters panel last year, and it was very fun. And I wish I had known ahead of time that they were doing a game for people to win something when they finally get to the panel.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah,
That is cool.
They had it set up that who's the redhead?
Adam.
He was on the floor disguised in some costume, and he would tweet hints where he was at the convention. And people were supposed to go find him, and the first one to find him and tweet that he found him would win this prize.
Cool.
Yeah, and actually 2 people tied and found him at the same time. Yeah.
So any other Keystone events that we should be aware of, dear?
Oh, yes. Well, we were talking about the Star Wars thing, and no, they are not having the fan film festival, but they are having a lot of other Star Wars panels. One of the panels that I'm very interested in on Thursday is the red versus blue implication. I love red versus blue.
I met them, and actually, that's the funniest thing. Is I found out what the joke is about Simmons being Latino.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I recall correctly, I believe the voice actor that plays Simmons is Latino.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So that's where that whole joke comes in. Like, aren't you like Latino? No, I'm Dutch Irish.
I've met them as well, and they are just a fun group of people, and I've gotten all their autographs on my Red versus Blue series that I have.
Nice.
Yes. There's also a Geek Roundtable. The Geek Roundtable last year was very hilarious, and I think we left with our sides just aching from the laughter. It's actually a bunch of our friends that we game with, and they do a podcast called The Geek Roundtable, and they do a show during Comic-Con live, where people can come and watch them do the show. Very funny.
That's awesome.
Yes, so one of the things I was interested in was Lucy Lawless will be at Comic-Con this year. I have not seen if she's doing autographs, but she was in Spartacus Blood and Sand. But I know her all too well as Xena.
And I also know her very well as number 3.
As who?
Battlestar Galactica. She was one of the Cylons.
Oh.
Ooh.
She was the hot one who had slight lesbian implications.
There were like 3 hot ones.
The best bit though is when they had some of the blooper reels. One of the bits is where she actually goes up to I forgot the one that played number 6. She gives her the kiss as a joke, and she goes, "There you go for your perv tape." And it's really funny because she delivers in her pure New Zealand accent. I'm like, I realized I'd never heard her use that before.
Ooh, that sounds really, really hot.
Although It's actually well worth taking a look. They're on YouTube, and another one that's when they have Boltar
Sorry.
is the guy that I've got to. I'm sorry, I should know the names. The guy that plays Boltar, he's naked, and he was actually generally naked. And she was surprised, and she tries for 35 seconds to continue to act like normal, and then the hilarity of the situation just got too much for her, and she just bursts out laughing.
Have any of you seen The Big Bang Theory?
No.
No,
I
but my
believe
nephew
I
and
have.
his father is a big fan.
This is a
hilarious.
series you must pirate if you can't get it in your country.
Yes, they will be there, I believe, on Friday. Now, Friday afternoon, they're doing a panel, and they are just so hilarious. Big Bang Theory is a TV show based on these science professors of this university that live in a apartment complex across the hall with this gorgeous blonde. And it is their misadventures of,
Oh,
trying to
goodness.
go out with girls and yet being these big geeks that don't know how to socialize, yet they wind up they wind up getting the blonde addicted to something like Worlds of Warcraft. She's like-
They end up doing what no geek has successfully actually done before.
It's really a cute show, and I believe it's made by geeks for geeks. It's a very good.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
It is
awesome.
actually, and it's also got the widest syndication of any blog ever in the history of mankind. Because at the end of every single episode is a blog from the producer about things that are happening. It's only on screen for all of about 4 or 5 seconds, and it's usually so bloody long that you have to have like a DVR so that you can pause it at the exactly right moment just to be able to read this thing.
But it's usually very hilarious. There was one where he did it right after Comic-Con, and there was a picture of the people in the audience for the panel that he did at Comic-Con, and he does this sweet tribute and thank you to the people and the fans who came. It's really nice.
That is awesome.
Apparently, the Burn Notice one's going to be a good one as well.
Burn Notice?
Yeah.
Oh,
Eh.
Hey, it's a
So-
great show. Dan's a fan of it. And if anyone that inquires, or why is it another reason to watch it? It has Bruce Campbell. Do
yes.
you
Oh.
need to
He is
ask
cool.
a reason why you need to watch that show?
All
It
right,
has
fair
Bruce
enough.
Campbell in it. That's enough. And he plays an ex-Marine, not Marine,
Ex-spy.
Navy SEAL. Well, he was a spy, but previously, before that, he was a U.S. He was a Navy SEAL. So he kicks fucking ass.
Nice. We're actually running a little bit lower on time than I would like.
Sorry.
So I'm gonna unless there's more that we need to continue
Well,
on about
there's
the
always
con.
more about Comic-Con, but
Well, yeah, that's true.
let's
True.
move on so we don't take up
Do
too
need
much
to
more time.
Well, there's one I'm going to have to. I'll say real quick. And between when we did the
One
last,
more thing.
shut up.
One more
No,
team.
this. Shut up. Because shut up. That's my reply. You know how we were doing the thing since we did the recording fail.
What the heck is that?
That's our segue.
The World Cup, yes. For a lot of people that have been watching the World Cup, you'd know that you pretty much who came out on top. For those of you who did not watch or pay too much attention, Spain actually came out on top with the World Cup, with the Netherlands and Germany taking second and third, respectively.
The rest not
And-
too sure yet. That's not been announced.
More or less. I haven't really paid too much attention beyond that. I didn't look it up. But this is BP has a new oil captain putting on the leaking oil pipe in the Gulf of Mexico.
I
So
understand it's actually working right now.
yes, it is actually working. It is no longer leaking oil into the Gulf. However, this is meant to be a temporary fix until they get a permanent one on. Go figure.
Which is just going to be drilling. Drill, baby, drill!
Yeah.
Well, did I call it or did I call it? They're trying to preserve this particular well for future access.
Yeah. Because
There's no oil for us to drill on. Didn't you go on to a tangent about that a couple podcasts ago?
Well, they had the people that were what's the boat operators when they put the Obama put the law out that basically they were going to stop all new drilling platforms and all that, and then they had these people that ran the boat companies, and by that they're basically being supported by the oil companies themselves, who basically said, no, this is an illegal act. The government is trying to destroy big businesses and the small people. So then that got reversed, and then apparently I think it went to court again, and it got on appeal. It was reversed once more.
I don't understand people. I don't think I ever will. Sylvie Nelson is a lady that does have a regular job that involves her crossing the Canadian border into U.S. territory back and forth. However, while she does do this regularly, she keeps running into a problem and has been for about 5 years. Her name, birth date, and a few other things are the exact same as another fellow who is wanted on several international lists for some serious stuff. But here's the thing. She is female, white, black hair, relatively thin, has a family. Other person, black, male, shorter hair. How do you mistake this after 5 years?
It's kind of the same way as I said. How you had the how was it? Yes, the new photo of what Osama, which is the terrorist leader, for those people that can't work out the difference between the US president and him. How he looks. They brought out the new photo a couple of years ago from the FBI, and it's a case of, oh, this is what he looks like. One problem: it was the photo that they just stole from a was it the Spanish politician? I think their foreign minister. Because hey, who's going to tell the difference between the Spanish foreign minister and an international terrorist?
Well, it's probably this comes from the same body of thinking that a 6-year-old is on the fly list.
I think one of the watchers, well, one of the guys in 910, he had that problem with his kid. I think it was a 6-year-old.
Yeah.
Because and he was found it hilarious because his wife, she's a contractor for the US Air Force. And she really did put up a stink.
And there's no way to get taken off of this no-fly list. That's the thing that just pisses me off. I mean, there's no appeal. There's no your name gets removed after investigation. There's no review board. There's just you're suspected, you're put on there, and you never get taken off. Even if it's proven that you are not a terrorist, you have no terrorist ties, you're not a threat to the government in any way, you're not a threat to the people in any way, you have no interest in hurting anybody. You could be a devout Buddhist with totally Zen philosophies towards everybody on the planet, including those people who want to kill you, and that you would still not be removed from the no-fly list, even though you have been cleared in every court of the land, under every investigation. This is a stupid list. It's as bad as the sex offender list. I'm not saying that sex offenders are good or anything like that, but because innocent people get put on these lists and they cannot get off.
Good Lord, it sounds kind of like syphilis. Whether you have it or not, you're labeled for life.
Yeah, exactly.
And God, Verizon is no longer doing internet service. In fact, they're now labeled as Frontier. Verizon is still doing phone service, but their internet is no longer. like I said, they're now Frontier, and I've had to be amused, as I said before, that I get these calls every now and then that someone calls and says, like, "This is Frontier Internet Services. We'd like to conduct a survey. However, we are experiencing technical difficulties and cannot conduct the survey at this time. Have a good day." And then it hangs up.
Hi,
This is
we'd
an
like to say
automated.
bye.
It's an automated message. It just says, "Hey, we're trying to do this, but we're screwed over. Sorry, bye." That's 2 seconds of my life I'll never have back, you bastards. What the hell? Why do you bother making that if you're going to say, "Hey, we're going to do this"? Psych.
I'm just curious if they've hired someone from Telstra to do that job for them.
I wouldn't be surprised.
No, the even better ones is, see, I Ninja, just so you know, in case you don't know, I think you do, but I own this computer business store.
Yeah.
And occasionally, after 4 months, we still get calls that kind of go along the lines of this. Ring, ring, hello? This is a call from Sally Mae, looking for Alejandro Gutierrez. If you or someone you know is named Alejandro Gutierrez at this address, please call us back at number blah blah blah.
If you continue listening to this message, it means you are this person and you accept the responsibilities that are connected to this person's name. Is that right?
Yeah.
So I've had my phone number for what is it now? 5 years, and I still get calls. Hello, this is Dish TV calling for Jonathan Fox. Are you Jonathan Fox? No, I told the last person that called from Dish TV, I am not Jonathan Fox. I still get calls.
When we did the previous version of this, I did make jokes about the fact that with Telstra, what was it that they did? Oh yes, they sold our number to someone else, despite the fact that this is a number that we'd been using for 40 plus years.
Wow.
40 plus years and still making a profit off of you.
Well, no, we changed it to another user, another provider afterwards.
Your third-party information gets updated with you and sold again.
But
And
they
again,
tried to pass.
again,
They tried to
and-
pass it off because of the fact that they said that, well, according to Australian law, it's meant to be that the business has more of a high priority to a number than a person does, which is technically true. But then again, that argument is to be true for if you are given a number which is a business number, and the business number gets it within, say, a year or so, not 40-year difference.
Yeah, I'm waiting for that kind of thing, the knock on your door or the phone call. Your phone number's being changed. Okay.
Well, that's all right. The telephone companies are a dying industry anyways. Oh, and back on the subject of Verizon, for anybody who's contemplating the possibility that there's going to be a Verizon iPhone, no! There is not.
That's kind of a bummer because Verizon was contemplating it, to my understanding.
Well, yeah, and pretty much everybody in the industry is pretty sure that it's Verizon that's spreading these rumors.
Actually, Verizon would be the one getting the even crappier aerial of the iPhone.
Well, possibly. Now, the thing is, Verizon wants to have the iPhone really, really bad. And here's the stupid part. Back before the iPhone was even a twinkle in most people's imaginations, Apple approached Verizon first. Verizon said no. Then Apple went to T-Mobile. T-Mobile said no. And then Apple went to Sprint. Sprint said no. And then Apple went to...
I think Sprint said something more along the lines, no, we're planning on going out of business soon.
then Apple went to AT&T. And AT&T said no. And then Apple went to Singular, and Singular said, sure.
No, I see AT&T said no because, no, we're planning on screwing our customers over pretty soon. You don't want part of that. Keep the companies coming, Homer. I got these.
and so Singular gets bought by AT&T, and AT&T ends up with the phone anyway. And
well, AT&T already owned Singular in the first place. It was when they got split down on the fact that they were a monopoly and they tried to break up the monopoly, which is something that's happened how many times with AT&T for being a monopoly that need to be broken up, so they split it up.
Jeez.
And then it had to be fallen back together because neither companies could work in any functional way, shape, or form without being part of a larger body.
Well, here's the thing. The
Yes.
iPhone is a miniature computer. You can jailbreak an iPhone to work in such a way that you don't need any carrier at all. In fact, gosh, there's iPod Touches that do just that.
Well, that's
My
pretty
friend
much how
has
they
one.
sell them in Australia. This is that Australia, when it first came out, was unique in the sense that there was at least 3 providers would allow you to purchase it through their service through a plan, and the others would allow you to actually bring it over to their, or take it over to their service.
Mm-hmm. Well, see, I think as far as I recall, the United States is pretty much like the only company or only country where there's one company that sells the iPhone.
No, I think you were right the first time. The only company.
So
Not a recession. No need for depression.
What?
Wow, I found out why there's so many mosquitoes in this hallway. The door is open!
So, anyways, the reason that there is not, until there's a major overhaul of Verizon's network, there is not going to be a version of the iPhone on Verizon's network, is because the iPhone, every single iPhone sold uses GSM. Verizon uses CDMA. These are fundamentally conflicting technologies. You can't have one with the other. And on top of that, CDMA is an inferior technology to GSM. So why would Apple ever go to Verizon as long as they are CDMA based?
Especially because they're more interested in their war with, Google.
Well, I honestly, what'd you say the first one was? GSM. GSM and CDMA. Honestly, I'm not entirely sure what those two stand for. However, I do hate to cut this short, but we are running low on time, guys.
Well, there's one thing I was trying to say beforehand, and that was really quick.
Okay.
Is, since we had the last recording, there's been a big announcement for Australia. We're going to have an election on the 21st of August.
For?
Federal election.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
Enjoy your election.
Is this person being elected also going to be wearing high heels? I call it like I see it, man. I'm sorry.
Well, unfortunately, oh Christ, I forgot the damn guy's name.
And it's a guy.
No, he was a foreign minister. You really caught me off guard with this one. Damn you!
We didn't catch you off guard on anything.
You're the one who brought this up. Yeah, you brought it up.
Okay. I'm beginning to see the virtues of this instrument.
As annoying as that thing is, it's actually coming in handy a little bit.
Wrap us up, Zeph.
Okay. We basically spoke a lot about Comic-Con, BunnyCon, and Bunnycast Live. We touched a little bit on a small variety of random, various miscellaneous news topics, and a lot of what's going on at Comic-Con itself. So, that said...
Alexander Downer, that's the name I was trying to think of, because the reason why I'm saying that is just because when he tried to be elected the Prime Minister of Australia in 93 or something like that, he had this photo done. It was meant to be part of this competition. They didn't show up, but then someone leaked it, and it was him in high. You did that the wrong time.
My phone. I love it. Anyway,
The point was he was wearing high heels to try and get elected. It didn't work.
obviously. But we're out of time, guys. So see you next week when we talk about girls on the internet, myth, or mystery. Or something.
What would I be?
Well, as
A cute
there's
ninja. You are a ninja.
As there's no girls on the internet, you're a fake or a figment of our imagination.
You're married to a figment of your imagination?
Or
No,
a
just
fake.
ours. No, just a figment of mine and Squato's. Yeah. Bye, everybody.
Where did Freya come from?
Wow. She
Well,
must be
you know,
a miracle child.
Well, you know the story about the storks. They're true.
That was what the big bird in the operating room was.
We are but pawns in a faded game of cat and mouse. Maybe a couple of headshots thrown out here and there. This crazy world is so messed up, all in my hair. I've got you, I don't care. Power in my hand, the world at my command. But now all that I want is just to be your man. It's a crazy world, in a twisted turn of reality. It's you and me, and I need you here to keep some sanity. We are but pawns in a faded game of cat and mouse. Maybe a couple of guinea pigs thrown out here and there. This crazy world is all messed up in my head. I got you, I don't care.